Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. A day after Congress dumped DMK and decided to support Vijay's TVK to form the government in Tamil Nadu, Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav on Friday attacked Congress and reiterated his commitment to the India Bloc in times of difficulty. Now, his jibe came a day after Akhilesh Yadav met TMC chief Mamta Banerjee and her nephew Abhishek Banerjee in Kolkata after TMC's Bengal rout. Now, he shared the pictures himself along with the TMC chief Mamta Banerjee and the DMK Supremo MK Stalin on X. And I'd like to put out that tweet. Here it goes. He says, "We are not the ones who abandon each other in times of difficulty." Now, Congress has offered conditional support to the TVK's Vijay to form a government in Tamil Nadu and severed its ties with the DMK. Vijay's TVK has been working to garner support from other parties to form a government in Tamil Nadu since the verdict delivered a fractured mandate. But we'll talk about Akhilesh Yadav today in our discussion because his post, if one look at the post, shows that he's trying to take a dig at Congress when he says that we are not the ones who abandon each other in times of difficulty. So, what about UP? If this is the scenario, and people have already started talking about that India bloc might get broken into one or two formations, is there a third front in sight? So, what will Akhilesh Yadav do in Uttar Pradesh, where the polls are scheduled next year? And if you look at the India alliance equation, in UP, they are in alliance, as Samajwadi Party and Congress. So what happens to that? So we'll try and discuss all of this as to what could happen in Uttar Pradesh after Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav has posted these pictures. How does it impact its relationship with Congress? Joining me this evening is Shahira Naim, senior journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining. We have TK Rajalakshmi, deputy editor from the Frontline. Thank you so much, Rajalakshmi, for joining. And I'll begin with Shahira. The pictures which you see are posted by Akhilesh Yadav. Now, could this impact the relationship of Akhilesh Yadav with Congress in Uttar Pradesh?
Definitely. The way he has put up the tweet, and for obvious reasons, the way he took a camera team with him, he usually doesn't. Yes. Yesterday he took a camera team with him to meet Mamta Banerjee, and he made a very public kind of appearance and said that you have not lost, we are with you, and also all that went on air, and it was carried by various channels. So what he was trying to put across, that in times of a political setback, rather than being together, the Congress has decided to abandon partners. And and then the tweet which he brought out also had a picture of Stalin, though he has not met Stalin after the defeat, but he did kind of put these two things together. So the message is obvious. He has attacked Congress and the India alliance, and rightly so. Even during the campaign, when Rahul Gandhi went to Calcutta, he was attacking TMC and Mamta Banerjee, rather than you can't have these kind of double standards, that in assembly elections you are hitting out at each other, and at the national elections you are in one team. It doesn't work like that. You have to have some kind of ideology. You can't abandon an ideology and uphold it as and when it suits you. So in that way, what Akhilesh has said is of great significance, because the UP elections is just round the corner. And we remember very well, because I was doing a lot of ground reporting in 24, that wherever Congress managed to win, it was the Samajwadi Party's organizational structure which was backing it. So Congress couldn't have done this kind of thing on its own, whether it was Amethi, whether it was Raebareli, wherever. The Samajwadi team was working behind the scene. And Congress better acknowledge it, that they don't have that kind of structure in UP to make any kind of significant impact. They will have to depend.
No, but do you feel, Chaira, that this tweet put out by Akhilesh could be an indication of Akhilesh divorcing himself from the Congress in Uttar Pradesh. Now, we do not know
Well,
what
I
kind of
don't know
talks can
whether,
happen.
no,
So,
I
no, I'm
don't
saying
think
that.
it's
I'm
divorcing.
saying that. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. You make your
No,
point first.
divorcing at this point of time, I wouldn't be saying that because it's still too early. And Congress is a party which, as we saw in Bihar also, has been so inconsistent. It's just first you lead a huge campaign in Bihar, and then when the time comes to reap the fruits of that campaign, you are nowhere in the scene, and then you have friendly contests and see how we lost Bihar, see what happened in TMC. Even if the other party had all the support from from the constitutional bodies, the India Bloc could have shown a very united front to fight it. The Congress did not. And after the defeat, if you're making a statement, it really doesn't mean much. He did make a speech, but the fact that Rahul extended support, but does it mean much? He could have done that before the elections, during the campaign. It
But
should have been
in
a united
UP,
campaign.
in UP, if I may specifically ask you, Shaira, can Akhilesh Yadav go alone? We do not know how the equations will change in the coming months after especially seeing the results in Bengal and Tamil Nadu, what has happened. Do you expect any sort of new realignments happening in Uttar Pradesh? Because I'm talking with respect to Akhilesh Yadav's
Yes,
relationship
yes,
with
yes.
Congress.
See, the point is, if Congress doesn't if continues like this and doesn't come forward for an alliance, then Akhilesh would really have no choice but to go it alone. But would it serve any purpose? It will again divide the already. It will be good news for the BJP. That's all I can say, because the secular vote would be divided
Right,
two ways, maybe three ways.
right,
They should put up a united front. It would be always better, and especially if he's fighting on the platform of PDA and
right,
and upholding the constitution. So ideologically also, it'll be far better if they put up a joint front.
right.
BSP obviously would not join it, though they speak of the same things, but they always have their
Right.
ways of manipulating things. But if they don't fight together, it'll be bad news.
Right.
It'll be bad
All
news.
right. Yeah. Sharat Pradhan, senior journalist and author and political commentator, also joins us. Sharatji, thank you so much for joining. We are discussing Akhilesh Yadav's tweet, which was put out this morning after he met Mamta Banerjee. He put out a picture of Stalin also, and he said that in bad times, at least I don't ditch my friends. I'd like to put out that tweet again, Shravan. This was the one we were talking about, that we are not the
Yeah.
ones who abandon each other in times of difficulty. Now, what we are discussing is that how can this tweet impact Akhilesh Yadav's relationship with Congress, especially in Uttar Pradesh, given the fact that the polls are scheduled for next year?
Well, I consider it the well thought out tweet, and with the intent of only, keeping the DMK in good humor. I don't think he actually means it, because he knows in his heart of hearts what he is going to lose in the bargain. As Shaira already pointed out, one aspect. There's yet another aspect to it, and which is why Akhilesh Yadav would not do it on ground. Rather than, that's why he's been very, kind of guarded in his tweet also, because he knows that in 2024, the kind of Dalit support he got, with on account of which Samajwadi Party got a surge of 37 seats, was largely because of the turn of the Dalit vote. And that came entirely because otherwise Dalits have always been averse to Samajwadi Party and its support base, because they are the ones who at the receiving end of particularly of the Yadavs and other powerful OBCs. So it was Rahul Gandhi who managed to come out, somehow create this impression on account of some statements given by certain BJP and RSS leaders that they would change the constitution. And Rahul Gandhi took it a little forward by convincing people that if BJP comes to power, they are going to change the constitution, and their intent is to bring in Manusmriti, which will lead to the end of the reservation system. And that really it went spread like wildfire, and that is what gave the turn. And Rahul Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav jolly well knows that. that without the Rahuls being beside them, without Congress, despite the fact that Congress may be down in the dumps, completely down in the dumps in Uttar Pradesh, yet this is what matters, and it really matters, because it may not divide the Muslim vote and the secular vote as much as it would take a wean away the Dalits from trying out the BJP, because Mayawati is dead politically. Mayawati has chosen to
Right.
surrender herself before the BJP, largely because of the wealth, and which she's scared of the ED and CBI. Although I am confident that if he were to defy them, they don't have the guts to put her behind bars. But she's scared.
Yes, after the Tamil Nadu episode, what we are seeing, the political situation over there, people have already started saying that India alliance might break into one or two formations. People have started exploring the possibility of a third front. Now, if you look at Akhilesh Yadav's tweet, does this tweet show that he is trying to, of course, you did say that he's trying to play safe, but is he exploring, or is he keeping the options both ways, whether if he has to go on India Alliance's side, or if there is a formation of a third front, he keeps that window also open?
I don't think now he's not so politically immature. So I think he knows he knows the game. He knows that what he is saying is not something which will work on ground. And in a situation where BJP is going to be move heaven and earth to crush Samajwadi Party, and after the Mamta devastation of the TMC, they are as it is, it's gone into their head, and they could go to any length to finish off the Samajwadi Party. So, and Akhilesh Yadav cannot afford to take any risks at this time. And it is going, of course, he's the main player. There's no doubt about it in the opposition. But he needs to really pull up his socks before he would be in a position to fight a party which remains in election mode all the time, and with somebody as wily as their top bosses, they can go to any extent. And mind you, SIR has already taken away 2 crore voters.
Absolutely.
In Uttar Pradesh.
Right. But if you keep aside the SIR, and that is something which we all know will happen, and the states will get that casualty just before them. But can both parties, whether it is Akhilesh Yadav's Samajwadi Party or Congress, can they afford a divorce in Uttar Pradesh? Can they afford a divorce in Uttar Pradesh? Like DMK has just announced a divorce with Congress Party. They have put out, Kanimori released a letter today saying that, and that letter is addressed to the speaker, saying that please change our seating arrangement because we are no more with Congress. That is what the letter which has been sent to the speaker.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm asking that can Akhilesh Yadav afford a divorce with Congress in Uttar Pradesh?
I don't think at all. Not at all. I don't think so. If he unless he gets misguided, it would be politically. It will be politically
suicidal.
Disastrous, suicidal. That's right. So I don't think that is.
Right.
It's a.
So Sharaji, this tweet is just a political posturing and just a.
Absolutely. Or it could also be a just off the cuff remark. I'm sure he must have already realized that he's committed a blunder at a time when the opposition is thinking of coming together under a common banner. Right. We shoot a tweet like this was very naive on his part, I would say.
Right. All right. Rajalakshmi, now I'll come to you. Looking at what is happening as a complete picture, do you see the possibility of Congress going alone? Though in Tamil Nadu, they've gone with TVK. They weighed the pros and the cons, and they are rightly poised in Tamil Nadu now to form the government. After more than 3 or 4 decades, I think after 1960s, Tamil Nadu has not had a Congress minister in the cabinet. After 60s, it's for the first time that Tamil Nadu will have a TVK Congress government where Congress will have a cabinet portfolio this time. Do you, and that is Tamil Nadu, but in other states, where do you see the India Alliance going? Do you see the India Alliance splitting in any way? Do you see a formation of a third front? Does it look likely? Because I'm sure before 2029, there'll be a lot of realignments. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think it's a little too early to
True.
sound, the death knell of the India Alliance as such. It's too early because I think there is going to be a regrouping of the secular parties as such, and uh, of course, what's happening now, in Tamil Nadu is not something good. Definitely, it's not good, and we all know that that it was mandate against the incumbent government. So any move for the DMK and the AIDMK, I mean, as it's been sort of talked about, discussed. I'm sure it's not going to happen, but it should not be. It should not be the case. Because the people did not did not vote for those parties in an overwhelming way in order to see them form government. Right now, on the other hand, this Congress, stepping out of the SPA, which was the uh, secular progressive alliance, which was formed under the leadership of the DMK, of which the Congress was a constituent. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the Congress, would not have, in fact, won those number of seats also. That is five out of some, I think, 28 or something that it contested. I mean, had it not been for the support of the DMK, and that also goes true, for the left parties to an extent, and also to the VCK, and the DMDK, which are also sort of part of the alliance. So the DMK is, in fact, the principal lead party in the SPA, right? And it would not have been without it, that in 2024, they swept all the Lok Sabha seats, right? So it would not have been possible. The Congress won all the Lok Sabha seats that was given. The left parties won all the seats that they were given, and of course the DMK. So it's fact, all the 39 seats went into the kitty of the of the India Alliance partners. So this was 2024. Now today is 2026, and obviously there have been, in fact, grievances against the DMK's style of functioning or non-functioning or whatever it may be. So I think the mandate is clearly in favor of the TVK. Now ideally the Congress should have, in fact, discussed this with the India Alliance partners. That would have been the right thing to do, as the other constituents are doing, with each other, right? In fact, when they're discussing that, yes, the idea is to form a secular government in the state and to support a secular government. The idea, on that part, they're all clear. There's no, in fact, question of supporting, BJP led or an AIDMK led. Of course, it can't be sort of BJP led. It has to be
No, but
AIDMK led.
Rajalakshmi, there are a lot of senior leaders like Manishankar Iyer. I was just reading a statement. He said that, even the fathers of Congress would have seen this as a low opportunism. This is the kind of comment which is coming. Then BL Santosh has said that, you'll see a lot of egg thrown on Congress's face. You see and wait what happens in Tamil Nadu. Though now it's becoming increasingly
Yeah.
clear that VCK, CPI, and CPM are going to support TVK. And as we are speaking, what I'm told is that around 4:30 or post 4:30, Vijay is going to be meeting the governor of Tamil Nadu. But is it a blessing in disguise for Congress, whatever has happened, or do we see this as a disadvantage for Congress?
I mean, I doubt. I don't think that it's a blessing, because it has soured relations with everybody else, in the process. I mean, it also has given Akhilesh a certain handle to poke fun at it, and to say that. I mean, he's actually taking a dig. I mean, these are just feelers, and as you know, and the kind of, political poachings that we've already talked about. So I think ideally it should have, discussed with the SPA. It fought under the banner of the SPA, the Secular Progressive Alliance. They also agreed to fight under the two leaves, the sorry, the symbol, the rising sun symbol of the DMK. They agreed even to that, though of course there were, in fact, misgivings among the constituents that this is not fair. You should allow us to fight on our party symbols, because ideally it's not fair that the DMK should have asked them to do that. But then, but then still they did. The whole idea was to form, again, a secular sort of government which would fight for federal freedoms and the like. but okay, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. But it doesn't mean that that you completely sort of reject the TVK, which has in fact secured the, those number of seats on a certain basis. Let us say, there have been certain issues which everybody couldn't see. Naturally, they couldn't see and feel. That this was a voice coming from the ground. But ultimately, I think outside support could have been given. You don't have to jump and be sort of part of the government. You can the Congress sort of could have given outside support. I mean,
No, but they announced support, and they
yeah,
even committed the alliance till 2029. They
joining.
said they will be fighting the local panchayat elections and the assembly elections and plus
Yeah.
2029 Lok Sabha elections.
Exactly, exactly. So I think it's been very short-sighted, on part of the Congress, because it sends everybody else, in a tizzy, because in fact the Congress is supposed to lead the India alliance, and here, it's just taking decisions on its own. It should have
Right.
called, in fact, a meeting of the India alliance, to precisely discuss this. That we have a situation here, okay, and in fact the TVK is also saying that it's ideologically opposed to the BJP. So here we have a party which is out and out saying this, and it's in fact looking for support from us. It's not looking for support from the AIDMK or anywhere else. It is looking for support from us. Okay, as far as the DMK is concerned, I think it's difficult maybe to support Vijay's party. I mean, because considering the DMK itself was ousted in that sense. And
Right.
but it would have been easier to, I think, sort of discuss these things out. But the Congress doesn't believe in these things. No, it believe, oh, we have come of age now, and they already think that in 2029 or in 27 in UP, 27 UP, come on, we all know that it couldn't happen without
Got it.
Akhilesh's being there. That even
Yeah.
the outcome that they got, in the Lok Sabha elections, the
Right.
the kind of seats they got. I mean, it wouldn't have been without
Absolutely.
Akhilesh. Yes.
I'll come to Sharaji now. That
Yeah.
do you think that the contradictions within the India alliance, they are widening now? Earlier, also there have been question marks that India alliance has not been meeting up. They've not formed an office. They still are not working around. Many political analysts have been saying that they should have had a logo, a common office. Nothing of that happened. But now, after Bengal and what we are seeing in Tamil Nadu, do you think that the contradiction is increasingly clear now? And do you see a possibility of all these parties coming together, patching up all these contradictions, and coming on a common footing?
You see, the devastation of this Trinamool Congress is bound to make the Congress party rethink on this and you use corrective measures for whatever what Rajalakshmi said. Yes, those shortcomings have been there, and it's high time the Congress realizes to rise out of those shortcomings so as to actually build a strong opposition India alliance. Because otherwise this is going to make them vulnerable, and this is not the time. On one hand, Rahul Gandhi is talking of thinking all differences and getting together and all that. I can understand, they are going with TVK because if they are thinking about Congress has already suffered a lot everywhere, wherever it used to be, and Tamil Nadu is the place where they have not witnessed a single after how many? It's after the 60s, I think. So this is the time when they have to see that they are able to, and as Rajalakshmi rightly pointed out, Congress is supposed to be leading them, the India alliance. So if that is the case, they may have to give up a lot of their personal issues, personal egos, and they'll have to bring in the opposition together. And Rahul Gandhi needs to take the first step in that direction. I think it was a wise step to have joined Vijay's party, to have gone in with Vijay's party, because Vijay's party is certainly has a better and bigger future than both DMK and the AIDMK.
Right.
Because I think, in politics, every party, every leader has its time. And those who realize that well in time, they are the ones who go forward. So I
Absolutely.
think the Dravid parties, their phase is is now they are fading out. So it is a politically, it was a wise step to have gone in for TVK, and now it is his job to ensure that this doesn't not result in what is happening right now, and this is gets contained, and all these differences are sunk, and they actually become a strong opposition, because if to have to fight the BJP in 2029, they a lot of others also in Akhilesh too has to give up these kind of statements. He has to be cautious on what he says, because if the slightest provocation or a slightest indication that the opposition is not going sailing well together is going to give BJP a big chance to hit them, and hit them very hard.
Absolutely. So, Shahira, I would like to take the concluding comments from you. What is the future of the India alliance according to you? Does it remain intact? Can Congress really save the ship? As of now, it looks like all the parties have got disintegrated since the time the Bengal election results came. People have said, look at all the regional parties, they've got decimated. RJD, Aam Aadmi Party, look at every party which is a regional party has got decimated. So, do you see this as one opportunity where Congress would see itself in a lead role, even though it goes alone? Or do you see that there is now a greater responsibility on the shoulders of Congress, how to bring these parties, which seemingly are decimated now, but to revive them back and bring them in under their fold?
I think, first of all, the Congress has to get out of their sense of entitlement. That they,
That's right.
that cannot, that doesn't hold a alliance like India alliance together. And that sense of entitlement is something which destroys unity. Like Rajalakshmi was saying, if they would have discussed this in the India alliance, that this
that
is
would
the
have made a lot of sense.
situation in Tamil Nadu, and to it can lead to a constitutional crisis. It can lead to president rule. So shall we do this? At least it's a secular government which will be there. I am sure some kind of solution would have come, but it's this again the same kind of sense of entitlement that they can get away with anything, any arbitrary decision or whatever. So they take these decisions, and they've always taken it. So is India alliance really any ideologically based alliance? As you pointed out, they have no common minimum program. They have nothing. So it's more like we've seen Kejriwal going in, Kejriwal and Congress fighting each other. Then Nitish, right when he was heading it, walking out of it. So all these things have been huge setbacks. Then what happened in Bihar was a setback. Then just a fortnight ago, Rahul going to Bengal and
Oh, even Mamata Banerjee walked out at one
walked
point of
out.
time
Yes.
in the initial days. But recently, when she did a press conference after the results came, she said that she's part of the India Bloc.
So see, the India bloc as it has huge potentials, but look at the players. How much are they ready to, give up their individual egos to bring make this work? And it has to start with the Congress, because they are the most entitled. They only think that everything revolves around them. They have to give that up, and all these leaders have to first really work on a common minimum program much before the elections start. And you can't have two standards, one for assembly elections and one for Lok Sabha elections. People are not fooled. They know if you're fighting against each other, the BJP will take advantage of these kind of divisions. You have to present a united front all the time. You have to stand for each other on all these issues. So Akhilesh saying this, and then tomorrow he'll go and sit on the same table to discuss. So don't you think it will be an opportunity for the BJP, which doesn't need
BJP.
any opportunity to score a few brownie points? So
Absolutely.
these people are not thinking through. They are not even realizing that the opponent is how powerful and how equipped they are. You have to work in
And how
these
ruthless, how ruthless,
and
and how
ruthless.
unscrupulous, and
Ruthless,
unscrupulous.
unscrupulous. They can do anything. So you have to come together. First of all, realize what you are up against, and put your egos aside and work out a workable program which will hold. And have these meetings regularly. not these photo
Yes.
ops. Forget about the photo ops. We don't want them. But behind the scene, you should be meeting and discussing and things like that, picking up phones and discussing, and things can be sorted out. There's nothing which can't be sorted out if you have if you resolve to sort it out. That's what I think.
Absolutely.
That is
Like they
missing
did
in
in
India.
like the opposition did in 1989.
Yeah,
Like the opposition did in 89. So
Absolutely.
you know and there what you need is somebody like VP Singh there, who may not have
Well,
what was not, he was not a long term player, but all the same he was able to bring everybody together.
everybody, the left and the
And
right,
you
and the
hear
single.
they have some common issues. Apart from communalism, they have this major issue of SIR, because nobody can deny that most of the states BJP is winning essentially because of the great patronage of the great Ganesh Kumar.
Ganesh Kumar.
absolutely. No, in fact, I don't know who the next VP Singh will be, but that poor VP Singh, whoever will it be from the India Alliance, will have to not only face the issues like SIR, he will have to face a CEC, a compromise CEC, then they will have to
Yeah,
face the Supreme Court, they will have to face the CAPA for the
yeah.
central forces, which I'm sure will be deployed in the states which are going to polls next year as well, because the
And
template is there.
you forgot about ED and CBI.
Indian CBI. That, of course, it goes without saying. It is so normalized and it goes without saying. Well, we'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Sharat Pradhan, Shahira ji, TK Rajalakshmi. Thank you so much for joining.
Okay. Bye bye.